with UFC 288 being 2 days out at the time of me recording this, and possibly almost just a day or maybe even just hours before you guys watch this, there has been a lot of debate on the main event, in particular being the former bantamweight and flyweight champ Henry Cejudo and the current bantamweight champ Aljamain Sterling. Now here is why I think that Henry Cejudo will not only beat Aljamain Sterling, but he is going to either finish him within 1 or 3 rounds or get a very dominant decision over the champ. Now first, we're going to have to look at their styles. So when looking at both of these guys and their favorable styles, they seem very similar, both being very wrestle intensive, with Aljamain Sterling in his fight against Petr Yan shooting 22 takedowns, and him having a lot of submissions in his career, and Henry Cejudo being an Olympic gold wrestler. Now, where their skills diverge is Aljamain Sterling's preferred style happens to fall under jiu-jitsu in particular. Now, his iconic or his most notable attribute with his jiu-jitsu is his ability to backpack people. And this was most recognizable in his second fight against Petr Yan and his fight against Corey Sandhagen. Now, we won't be really going into the Sandhagen fight, but in the fight against Petr Yan, the second fight in particular, it was very notable in the early rounds that his jiu-jitsu and his wrestling was extremely high level, where you can see that when he gets the body lock on someone like Petr Yan, who does have incredibly high, he has really good takedown defense, but you can see that when Aljamain Sterling gets that body lock and gets him down, the jiu-jitsu is just a whole different level. And you can see that when he gets that body lock, Petr Yan is just unable to do anything because he just has to defend against the submission attempts, or he's just going to get choked out. Now, if we look at someone like Henry Cejudo and his specialty, we can see that lies within more of just traditional wrestling, where him being one of the youngest Olympic gold wrestlers of all time, with him getting his Olympic gold medal at the age of only 21. Now, Henry is incredibly high level, with him having a 93% takedown defense accuracy. And this man is just a whole different beast. This man has incredible scrambling ability, and with it being damn near impossible to take him down, it's going to be hard for Aljo to backpack him, making this stylistically a lot rougher for Aljo, in my opinion, than I think for Henry Cejudo. Now let's look at their records and resumes. Now, when looking at Aljamain Sterling, he is 22-3, and he has very high level wins over guys like Corey Sandhagen. And while he did get only a DQ win in Petr Yan the first fight, in his second fight, he did manage to beat Petr Yan, while in a split decision, he was fairly dominant in the early rounds, whereas for rounds 1 and 2, it was clear that it went to Aljo. But round 3 got shaky, and 2 and 5 went to Yan. But I do believe Aljamain Sterling did win that fight, fair and square. And with his most recent win being over TJ Dillashaw, a former champ, it does show that he can go with the best of the best. However, that win over Dillashaw comes with it comes with a couple of downsides. One being that Dillashaw got that fight after what many people consider to be a robbery against Sandhagen, feeling that he wasn't even deserving or the best for that fight. And secondly, he went into that fight with a very injured shoulder, which as of recent, he has stated that that shoulder injury has forced him into retirement. Therefore, it almost very much decredits Aljamain Sterling's win over him. And when we look at Henry Cejudo, I feel like his resume is a lot more complete and a lot higher level, with wins over the consensus flyweight GOAT, Demetrius Johnson, and wins over guys like also TJ Dillashaw, but an uninjured one. Wins over guys like Marlon Moraes, and then also Dominic Cruz. It puts him, I feel, a step above the level that I feel like it puts him a high step above the level that Aljamain Sterling is. And so I think that in terms of resumes and how complete they are, Henry Cejudo does have the bigger resume, although be it when he fought Dillashaw at flyweight, and Dillashaw was probably one of the worst, it was hard to even look at TJ during that weight cut because he looked like he was practically fucking dead. However, I think what makes it to where it like kind of cancels out in a sense is that Dillashaw was taking EPOs, admitted to taking EPOs to almost make himself more prepared for the fight. It was so he could still get the training camp in, and then he also took it to increases the red blood cell count, so his cardio would be beyond insane. But the Dominic Cruz win is also one that is questioned due to the fact that Cruz was off the couch, he did take the fight on short notice. However, he did that against TJ Dillashaw too and pulled out a unanimous win against TJ. The thing that really makes it is the early stoppage, where people believe that it was because it was really late in the second round, only 5 seconds, 5-6 seconds left to go. And the Dominic Cruz was standing up, he was getting up, but the ref still chose to stop the fight. And I do believe it was an early stoppage. However, you can't take away the fact that Henry was, he did win the fight, despite what many people think. Now, while I do believe that Aljamain Sterling could provide a lot of issues given that he is able to take Henry Cejudo down, I don't believe that will be happening in this fight. And the way I see this fight ending is with Henry Cejudo finishing it in probably third round. And if the fight does go on later, I do believe he could finish it in the fourth. Definitely not in the fifth, because I feel like they'll both be too tired at that point. But maybe in the fourth round, he could have a Demetrius Johnson, Adriano Moraes-esque win, like their second fight. But yeah, that's about it. I do believe that Henry Cejudo is going to get it done. I hope he gets it done, and I can't wait to see Gilbert Burns beat Bilal Muhammad. Although I do like Bilal Muhammad, he is kind of funny now. But yeah, that's about it. See ya.